Hey everybody, my name is David Chuddick. I am a certified financial planner with Parallel Financial, and today we have Bob Walsh with Slavic 401k, and we are going to talk about some of the benefits of the Slavic 401k plan for Questco companies. Hey Bob, how are you?
Hey, David, thanks so much for having me today. My name is Bob. I'm with Slavic 401k, and David and I are going to go through the 401k plan offering for clients of Questco. So let's go ahead and jump right into it by taking a look first at why would companies want to offer a plan. Of course, having a retirement plan is going to attract and retain more qualified employees. If you have potential employees that are coming on, they have an existing retirement plan. Perhaps they wanted to roll that into their new plan, continue to make tax deferred contributions into your company's retirement plan. Many states, if we're looking at this map here, those states in the green are actually required by law to offer either the state-run IRA program or adopt a retirement plan like the one here with Questco, where you would satisfy that state mandate. I know in California, they are enforcing penalties to groups who are not adopting the state-run program. But if you adopt the Questco 401k plan, then you satisfy that requirement. We see most of these states are moving in a direction to where at one point or another in the future, you're going to have to either adopt the state-run program or adopt a 401k plan. There's also a number of tax credits we're going to go over for adopting a 401k plan that you can take advantage of here that make it quite simple in adopting the plan. Next, we're going over who all is involved in the retirement plan. So Questco, of course, as the PEO payroll provider, comes in and acts as the 316 fiduciary, the plan sponsor, and the trustee. Usually that would be your company that takes on those liabilities, acting as a fiduciary. But because you have this relationship with Questco, you're able to hand over the 316 fiduciary sponsor trustee role. So Questco, as the trustee, is covered through ERISA bond insurance and the gatekeeper on the plan, signing off on funds that are ever leaving the retirement plan. Questco, as the fiduciary sponsor, does the year-end Form 5500 tax filing, and then Questco meets with Parallel Financial, who serves as the 321 advisor. I'm going to let David come in and just go over that briefly here.
Yes, Bob, Parallel Financial, we serve as the investment advisor, which means we are selecting the investment options that are available inside of the fund. And then also we provide training to companies and to participants. One of the unique things about the relationship with Slavic and Questco and Parallel Financial is any employee can set a meeting with me or my colleague, and we can spend 30 minutes or so talking about their investment options and even some basic personal finance type issues. So, for your team to have even any access to a certified financial planner is a pretty big deal. We know that employees that have their money straight tend to be less stressed out employees, and those tend to be more productive employees. Helping your employees to have their money under control is a great benefit that you're providing.
Great. Thanks so much, David. The Slavic 401k, the company that I work for, we come in as that TPA or third-party administrator and record keeper, and we have a full 360 data integration with Questco. So what that means is not only are you not coming in and serving as a fiduciary, but you're not serving as an administrator on this 401k plan, right? If you sign up to the plan, the employees would enroll online, and that data syncs directly with payroll. Payroll withholds those amounts and they go right back to 401k. A lot of time we set these plans up and we may not hear from the company for a year, 2 years, etc., unless maybe they want some training from David's team to go over the plan. Maybe you're looking to add a match in the future. You just start off with the basic plan, etc., but you're not acting as an administrator on the plan. Slavic 401k also provides customer service. So for anything outside of the investments, you would come over to Slavic 401k. Maybe you need help navigating the website, resetting your password, pulling reports at the end of the year. You want to see how much you've contributed, how the funds have performed, etc. Fidelity is the trading platform. That's where the trust is set up to safeguard the assets. And then lastly, we're just adding in what is the employer's responsibility. You don't really have a role here, but a lot of times groups ask, well, what's required from my side? And you simply need to let our team know at Slavic 401k if there's ever any changes in ownership or if the company goes through a merger or acquisition. Slavic 401k, who are we? Sometimes this question comes up. John Slavic started the company about 40 years back, and we are out of South Florida. We're in a very niche market in that we only work with these larger PEO, payroll sponsored, multiple employer plans, like the one that Questco offers. So we work with 140 different multi-employer 401k plans. We administer around $12 billion in assets under management, 17,450 adopting employers, companies that are with us, and around 400,000 plan participants with us. Fidelity's acting as the primary custodian, and we are a USA-based company. Every once in a while, I think folks get thrown off by the name Slavic and are wondering if we're an Eastern European company. That is not the case. We are USA-based, John Slavic starting the company. So key advantages of the multiple employer 401k plan is Questco comes in as that sponsor, administrator, and trustee. If you as an employer went out and started a retirement plan elsewhere, not underneath Questco PEO, you're taking on all of those roles. So we have that 360 payroll integration, enrollment processing. Folks can take loans, make changes to how much they're contributing at any time. Questco calculates employer matching or non-elective contributions if you do provide for any matching, and sending in those contribution files along with new hires as they come on. If you have a new hire that comes on, our company receives that information, and then we reach out to those new hires, letting them know how to get enrolled into the plan, how to reach out to someone from our team or to David's team at Parallel if they need assistance with that first-time enrollment. As the trustee, Questco is signing off on any monies that are ever leaving the plan if someone goes to retire or takes a loan. Questco maintains insurance, so you're not having to get insurance. And then you're included in the year-end tax filing. And if your company was ever large enough to require an audit, that's over 100 plan participants, you are included in Questco's audit. If you have a plan elsewhere, you're going to be serving all of these roles. Really nice option to adopt the Questco 401k plan.
So, Bob, if I can jump in my private wealth management practice, I have several small employers that have plans outside of the Slavic plan, and these are a lot of work, and they also can have a fairly reasonable expense that you're bypassing by being with the Slavic 401k plan. So if you're a single owner and you have 10, 15 employees and you're the one having to authorize loans and distributions, and that is a lot of work, and that's taken off of you with this plan.
That's right. Yeah, it's a lot of work. The costs are generally much higher in a single employer plan, not this sort of pooled plan. Great option here that's available to you. The plan's flexible as well. I think a lot of times we have groups who think because you're going into this multi-employer plan that Questco sponsors, that you might be limited in your plan design options. But when you're adopting the retirement plan, you're adopting on and you're able to come in and set eligibility requirements. So if you wanted to have up to a 1-year service requirement or waiting period for new hires, you can do that. Most groups do somewhere between 3 to 6 months. And you can also have an age requirement of say 18 or 21. Most plans that are being set up today do require employee automatic enrollment. So they would just need to opt out if they did not want to participate. That came down from a bill that was passed called the Secure Act bill, just trying to encourage employees to put away for their retirement. Matching is optional. So there's two types of matches that you can adopt in this plan. A safe harbor match that allows owners and highly compensated employees, those earning over $155,000 a year, to put away as much as they would like up to the IRS statutory limits without the possibility of receiving refunds. You can also do a fixed match, which you can get creative with. You can do a 2% match there and maybe have a cap on that match. The plan allows for year-end profit sharing. So at the end of the year, you can come in and you can provide a one-time profit share, sometimes referred to as a non-elective contribution, maybe a flat $500 or $1,000 to every single employee at the company. There would be a benefit to do that because there's tax credits and tax deductions that we're going to go over here in a moment, but also you can have a vesting schedule applied to any employer contributions. Meaning, if David's an employee at my company and he decides to leave before, say, 3 or 4 years, whatever your vesting schedule is, well, some of that match should be returned back to the plan that's used as a credit to offset future employer matching or profit sharing contributions. Next, let's go over the employer tax credits. These are going to be available for companies with 100 or fewer employees, making at least $5,000 in the preceding tax year. The tax credit is available for the first 3 years, ranging from $500 to $5,000 per year, based on what the client has paid to set up the plan. Now, in this plan, there is no setup or ongoing cost to the employer. There's 2 credits that really are going to come into play here. The automatic enrollment, which is $500 each year for the first 3 years, and then the employer contribution tax credit. Employer contributions are optional, but we can have a match or a profit share, and the maximum credit is the lesser of the actual employer contribution, or $1,000 for each employee making $100,000 or less in FICA wages. If you had a match in place, a fixed match, you can have a $1,000 cap on that match each year, meaning you can lock in that full tax credit, and once someone hits that $1,000, it will be turned off until the next year. That tax credit, David, is going to phase out over 5 years. Years 1 and 2, you get a full 100%. And then years 3, 4, and 5, it phases out by 25%. That is a credit that's coming back to you. And we're going to look at an example of how that could work out for a company with 20 employees. Years 1, 2, and 3, they get the $500 tax credit. But we're also factoring in a $1,000 employer match. The total for year 1 and 2 is $20,500 or $41,000. And then if we add that all up over 5 years, we're looking at $71,500. That's a credit back to the company. And a lot of times employers will say to us, David, how do we know what to do at the end of the year? Are we going to be notified about these credits? We learn about this up front. That's great, but we actually have to go and we have to file for those credits. Each company will be notified at the close of the year that they have a tax credit statement available to download, and they're going to take that statement over to their CPA, who will complete a Form 8881 to apply for those tax credits. Government is making it really enticing and simple for us to set up retirement plans to get these up and running.
On a side note, I wonder what that tells us about what the government thinks about Social Security being available for all of us. If they're incentivizing us to be in retirement plans, that might be telling another story.
That's right. Most individuals tend to realize that they're not going to be covered fully, or Social Security won't fully cover those income needs in retirement. Next, once the plan's up and running and off the ground, there's no administrative role that the company is going to be taking on. But we do assign each employer as a worksite contact. You can have multiple individuals. Maybe you want to add your CPA there as well. But each month, we are showing you key stats on your retirement plan. We're going to show you total assets, how many employees are contributing. If you do not go with a safe harbor match, then owners and highly compensated employees are limited to what they can contribute. So the plan's open to testing that we run, but we're showing you on a month-to-month basis, starting in July, what that interim testing looks like before we get to the end of the year and we run that actual test. So we're keeping you in the loop. Same with the plan participants or the employees who are participating in the plan. We send an email each Friday, and it's called the Email Express. And it's letting us know what occurred in the market that week and also our account balance as of Thursday evening when the market closed. So I just did a meeting, David, and spoke to a number of employees, and always getting positive feedback here because most individuals sign up for their retirement plan and maybe they don't log in for a number of years to see how their account's doing. But each Friday, employees are going to see this email, see that weekly market view along with their account balance. That's nice.
And I think it's very important. As a financial advisor, we know that behavior is very important. And people do one of two things with their investment accounts. They either stare at them and get stressed out from all the intraday fluctuations, or they don't look at them at all ever. And I think that looking at it once a week or so is a good happy medium. It prevents stress, but it also keeps you in the loop. And then the market view commentary is just non-biased news. It's not infotainment, it's not entertainment. It's just what actually happens. That's a great, great feature.
Yeah, it's nice. And David, we do have some individuals as well who maybe they're not wanting to see that balance each week because they're a very aggressive investor. So you do have the ability to turn that off. I've gotten that feedback sometimes because folks maybe don't want to see that weekly balance. Something occurs in the market, they see a little decline there. So you could disable that feature as well. Okay, next, let's go into the plan expenses. We hit on no fiduciary obligations, no administrative role. And the third item I always like to drive home is the plan expenses are extremely competitive here because you're in this one larger multi-employer 401k plan. So for the employer, there's no ongoing cost. Once the plan is set up and in place, if you ever come back and amend your plan, maybe you add a match or change a waiting period, that's event driven from your company. There'd be a one-time $250 fee there. For your employees or the plan participants, it's $10 for the year. The highest asset fee is 0.80%. And if we look over here to the right, that fee decreases as your company's assets increase. So a lot of times that asset fee can be layered into the fund where you may never see it and it never decreases unless that fund is changed out. But we like to have full disclosure here showing you that fee and that fee decreasing as assets increase. And then lastly, the average fund expense comes in at 0.09%. So there's investments from Vanguard, Fidelity, Vanguard target year funds are quite popular for a hands-off approach there. And then you can always get with David's team as well, wanting to do a bit of a deeper dive on some of those investments. Moving along here, once the plan is rolled out, folks can call into our contact center for really any questions whatsoever. And over the past 2 to 3 years, we have really ramped up things with our customer service side of the business. We have 75 plus individuals working in the customer service center. The speed has averaged around 38 seconds over the past 6 months. Service level targets, 80% of calls are being answered within 1 minute, and 80% of emails are answered within 48 hours. We're really big on customer service. We take that very seriously. We've recently enhanced our security features as well because we want your retirement to be safe. That segues into our next topic with our world-class cybersecurity. What we're looking at here is how we rank against our competitors. Slavic 401k comes in with a security rating of 800. And how you can think of this security rating is it's similar to a credit score. Highest credit score we can get is 850. So 800 puts us at the top of the list in the retirement space. We see some of our competitors, Vestwell and Power, Blue Star, who is now Emeritus, Transamerica, Insperity, Ascensus, ADP. We take our security very serious. We have a number of programs here where if there's ever fraud, that would be fully refunded back to you. But yeah, we've definitely revamped our security. I have dual authentication when you go to log into your account where you're getting that unique PIN every time. Next, we're going into monthly webinars that Slavic 401k hosts. And this goes over a number of different topics, such as basic saving for retirement, financial wellness, year-end financial planning, credit score, how that's important to you. Each month we have different sessions that we have different speakers come in and speak on these topics for ongoing education. And then bringing that all together, Questco offers this retirement plan to their clients, part of being with their PEO services. Adopting onto their plan really leaves the employer with no administration and no fiduciary obligations. You're letting us know over the years if there was changes in ownership at your company, or if you ever went through a merger or acquisition. And then the expenses in this plan are generally going to be much lower compared to if you were to go out and sponsor your own retirement plan. Okay. And then additionally with that, if you were to go with one of these state-ran programs, which is basically an IRA, it's going to be a bit more administrative work on your side. You would be taking those deductions from payroll in that state-run program and sending them over to maybe the Cal Savers program in California or whatever IRA program your state has in place. Here, once the plan's in place with no cost to your company, that's completely hands-off, fully bundled approach. A nice option for you. That is going to bring us to the end here. David, I don't know if you have any comments before we sign off.
So if anybody's watching this and thinking this sounds really great, but this is probably a big deal, there's probably a lot of paperwork and work on our end. Talk to us a little bit about the process of either starting a new 401k or moving a previous 401k into the Slavic plan.
Yeah, sure. So if you're starting a new 401k plan and you have no plan in place today, you're going to fill out a 2-page company information form, and you're going to schedule a call with myself and Susan from Parallel Financial. It's usually a 20-minute call, and we're going to go over different types of plans that you can set up, matching, no matching, eligibility requirements, etc. That takes about 20 minutes. We would then sign the 401k adoption agreement contract over to you to sign off on. And then it takes about a week for processing. We'd have a full announcement for companies to share with the employees. And David, I know your team would do the webinars for groups to really answer any questions that groups may have or employees might have. That's if you don't have an existing retirement plan. If you're a company with that plan in place elsewhere today, we're still going to go through all of those same steps, but we're also going to go through what we call our plan merger process. There's a letter of intent that we would have you sign off and send to your prior plan provider. And we're asking that provider to send us a number of different reports to our team so we can do our due diligence review, make sure your existing plan's in good order before Questco comes in and takes on all of those fiduciary roles.
So that doesn't sound too bad. And you'll have Bob and Bob's team at Slavic 401k and our team at Parallel. We can do a lot of the legwork and we can make it easy and hope that you have a great experience. So if you have any questions, you can certainly email 401k at parallelfinancial.com. That's 401k at parallelfinancial.com. And we can either schedule a quick Zoom call or we can get you the forms that need to be filled out and we can get this process started for a proposal. And if it ends up being something that for whatever reason doesn't work, then no harm, no foul. We don't need to move forward. So any closing thoughts, Bob?
No, I would piggyback off of that, that look, even if you don't want to fill out some of those forms, you want to have a basic call with myself, with you, David, or with Susan, reach out, excuse me, to that email, or reach out to myself, Robert W. at slavic401k.com, just like it's listed here. We can have a 5-10 minute call, or maybe even answer some questions that you have in the email after viewing this webinar today. But yeah, no reason not to adopt the plan, no cost to the company. You don't have to offer a match, then you're offering a savings vehicle for your employees.
Awesome. Everybody, so we appreciate taking time out of your day to watch this webinar. Again, 401k at parallelfinancial.com if you have any questions. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, thanks so much, David. Take care.